it's a nice song to listen to. It's a little, so we're back. I mean, I hope all the panelists enjoyed their time off, but it wasn't planned time off. But my it was a comedy of errors. My voice went out last weekend. It started like Thursday night, but I was like, I'll just power through it. And then Friday, I had to do interviews because I'm hiring people because my business is starting to pick up, which I have no idea why, because COVID's coming back. I'm like, why the fuck are you out eating? You need to be home. Don't spread this shit around. But so I'm interviewing people, and like as the day goes on, I'm interviewing for a 3 hour block, and every hour my voice is getting worse. And by the end of the day, my voice was just like, well, I'm about to look. Whatever else you need to say, you better say it because I'm gone. I'm leaving.
Oh man.
And then my voice was gone, and I'm like, shit. My voice has just said, fuck it. And my voice was gone Saturday, Sunday. My voice started coming back Monday, and Tuesday. My voice was coming back to that sweet spot where I sounded like Barry White almost all day long, and I wish I had recorded myself saying shit because I had that deep, that deep, that bedroom voice. That because women who are really into a man's voice, I had that ultra masculine, deep, that deep voice. For women who hear that type of voice, they just automatically like the dude could look like shit, but that voice, they're into it.
Oh
Um,
yeah. Yep.
so my voice sounded like that all day Tuesday, and I was like, man, if only my voice could stay like, if only my voice vocal cords could stay like this for the rest of my life, it'd be great. But no, the voice came back. Then like Wednesday, I'm like, okay, the podcast is gonna work. My power went out. Now I have a sub generator to my house, but the way my Verizon is hooked up, like all their shit goes to a substation to get into the neighborhood where I live. And the substation is on the grid. So even though my power came back because I have a sub generator to my house, the power in the neighborhood didn't come back for 3 hours, which means my internet was out for 3 hours too. And that just wasn't fun. Uh,
Yeah.
so I was like, well, I can't do a podcast today either.
It'd be kind of nice if we could implement some kind of system where you didn't have to rely on a grid, like being able to plug in some kind of battery that didn't take up a lot of energy or take up a lot of or made a lot of noise.
Well, they could, but I mean, here's the thing: these businesses are for-profit businesses. They actually say that the best internet service providers that exist in America, just America, because we always like to talk about we're the best country in the world, but our internet's like of wealthy countries, it's damn near the bottom.
Yeah, that's
Um,
pretty sad.
but one of the places where we do have good internet, the best internet in America is in places where the local government use it as just a utility and they're not trying to make money off of it. They're just trying to provide a good service. That's the best internet you can get. So really turning it into a utility and treating it as just like, look, like we just want to provide good water, good electricity, good internet to people. You actually get a better service when people aren't trying to fucking make money off of it. Who knew? But that's neither here nor there. So basically, yeah.
Yeah, what if local governments, instead of sort of federalized infrastructure, to just be
I mean,
complicated as hell? Why not just
well,
have a local governing body of
I mean, the best way to do it would be to have like a federal, like a federal overarching. Okay, here's what we're aiming for, and then you basically give a template for the local and state governments to use. So because the fact of the matter is that as we become more and more of a technological society, there's just certain shit you can't do if you don't have access to the internet.
it's the internet has become very important for people running businesses or communicating and all sorts
like
of different stuff.
I mean, like there's places where you like. Okay, if you live in Alaska, right? There are places where it's impractical. Like if you're 200 miles from the local university, it's impractical for you to drive to school. But if you have internet, you can fucking go to class online. You know, there are people who work from home using the internet. Like I've been working from home using the internet. Like I can do like 85% of my business from just my computer and using my cell phone. That's great. But and I mean I have FiOS, which is like one of the top three best internets you can have in America of for-profit internets. I think Google Fiber is like number one, but Google Fiber is so specialized and only in certain areas of the country that you just can't get it. So I've got like number two, which is FiOS, and but even FiOS isn't perfect because I mean they were doing some work and they just unplugged my shit and didn't tell anyone. I'm like, fuck, what the fuck is this shit? Why would you tell people that you were doing work on the line so people could, I could have prepped shit beforehand. No, that's too much.
That's yeah. Yeah, our infrastructure kind of sucks when it comes to internet, even electricity, because uh, getting a generator hooked up this week, and so if we had more efficient, like I said earlier, if we had more of an efficient system where it wasn't reliant on, say, a grid system where you could, because I've heard of somebody talking about essentially a battery that you can plug into your house. That's about as big as an air conditioning unit that powers your whole house. And we can get something like that, like some kind of nuclear battery, or some kind of safe renewable energy that you can, you know,
I'd be down with
whatever.
it. I mean,
Yeah,
I tried to proof my house because I got tired of paying $150 a month to power my house. So like 5 6 years ago, I put solar panels on my house, and basically during like 3 quarters of the year, spring, fall, and winter, I'm actually I'm like my power provider cuts me a check because I'm producing more power than I'm using in my house. The only time my power goes up in my house is during the summer because I turn the air conditioning to like 65 because it gets hot
yeah.
in my house. And like then I pay them like $30 a month. So, you know, I'm gonna tell you right now, everyone's like, I don't want solar. Fuck you. Everybody should get some form of alternative energy attached to their domicile. Apartment buildings should have solar and wind turbines on the roof. Uh, people need to plan for this type of stuff in the future. Having more efficient, energy efficient houses, because that way you reduce your carbon footprint. But
And one day there might be a time when the grid's completely just collapses on itself. Whether you know
yeah, yeah.
some sort of natural disaster or war or whatever. Gonna need a way to keep your house powered.
Yeah, yeah. Because look, I'll
Uh,
tell you right now, with global warming going the way it is, look, you're gonna need some air conditioning.
yeah, the weather's been weird. I've never experienced the weather where it's been super hot and yet super rainy.
Hey, man,
It's just odd.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's fake. It doesn't
Yeah,
exist. Even though where I live, I haven't had a winter in like 10, 15 years. But
yeah.
it doesn't exist. It's a
Hmm.
hoax. Those ice caps aren't
I
melting.
consider those people flat earthers.
Those goddamn polar bears. Those damn polar bears aren't losing their home and moving further and further inland. mating with grizzly bears, creating growler bears and pizzlies. That shit's not real. Uh,
Yeah, yeah, and the Earth is flat. Welcome to 2021, yeah, mother.
yeah, yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry we went on longer, but we were just getting some stuff off our chest. But with that being said, we got some shit to talk about. Mostly um, video game stuff. But before we go any further, let's have the lady introduce herself, and then the gentleman, and then we'll dive into these news stories. Who wants to go first?
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages. This is Joey Lemon Star. Welcome you to the Asbestos Early Podcast for actually, you got lucky that it's not Friday the 13th. Though, if anything, some some odd luck has finally lifted, so we can finally get a podcast out.
Yeah, yesterday was Friday the 13th. I actually enjoy like on Friday the 13th. I go and I'll watch like a Friday the 13th film. Yeah,
Yeah,
I like it.
I didn't even know it was Friday the 13th. That day was that was a fantastic day for me.
Yeah,
It was great.
I watched Friday the 13th and I enjoyed it. I was like, this shit's great. I watched the original Friday the 13th, Friday the 13th 2, and then Friday the 13th um, 3, part 3. Um, I didn't go any further because all you need is 1, 2, and 3. You don't need any more than 1, 2, or 3. And I'll tell you why. You need the first Friday the 13th because that sets the stage. You need Friday the 13th part 2 because it's got OG original Jason Voorhees with the bag over his head. And you need part 3. Why? Because part 3 Friday the 13th is the one that gives you classic, iconic Jason Voorhees with the chainsaw and the hockey mask. And classic Jason Voorhees just murdering the shit out of people. But it is what it is. This is Mr. Red Fox, so let's dive into it. So we have quite a few stories. I guess we should first talk about
Nindies.
yeah, let's talk about the Nindies. So I'm not gonna go over every game. What looked good to you guys? What didn't look good to you guys? What are you looking forward to? What are you not looking forward to? And what were your overall thoughts of the Nindy presentation?
Huh. Well, if anything, I'm actually curious of the pocket dungeon that's coming up in a good while. I actually got curious of something called Boyfriend Dungeon because it just seems so left field.
Yeah, yeah.
Though, if anything, most of the indies seem like some pretty cute stuff,
All right,
at least to me. So
all right. Kenoshi.
it's like a good run.
All right, okay. Kenoshi. I guess he's okay. I guess I'll give my turn. I guess Kadoshi's currently indisposed. So I there were 19 games shown during the Nindy presentation. For me, I only was interested in 4 games, but they were pretty interesting games to me. Um, Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon, but I'm a Shovel Knight fanboy, so anything Yacht Club games, I'm like, okay, like Yacht Club Games has published a lot of games. They've published a lot of games, and plus they've put out Shovel Knight, and all the games that they've published have been good. So they have a pretty good track record. So I'm pretty sure Pocket Dungeon's going to be good too. The other game that looked interesting was Eastward. It looks kind of like Legend of Zelda Married. I want to say Earthbound, but I haven't seen enough of that game to really know what they're trying to go for. But it looks good, so that was interesting to me. The other game that was interesting to me was the Metal Slug Tactics. A little bit of gameplay, we saw that game, but the art style is what got me with that game.
Yeah.
I'm like, they translated the art style of Metal Slug into an isometric tactical game, and .emu,
Yeah.
.emu needs to get a gold star for doing that. Just the game could suck, but just how they translated a 2D run and gun bullet hell shooter into a isometric tactical game, they get all the kudos.
You have to give them Yeah. So if anything, I'm waiting to know about a few of the stats before I even try to go in there because that looks so good. Yet I feel that it's going to be complicated as Fire Emblem.
I don't think it's going to be Fire Emblem.
No,
It's not going to be
yeah.
Fire Emblem complicated. I don't think.
Fire Emblem's
Because
not
it has
that.
to be approachable. Yeah. And Fire Emblem's been becoming more and more casual with each new iteration since Awakening. Like
Yeah.
the game
I didn't
after
say
that was
how.
more casual. The game after that was
I
more
didn't say which.
casual.
I was going to say I didn't say which Fire Emblem.
Yeah,
I
they're
just
not gonna
said
make.
Fire Emblem complicated.
Yeah, they're not gonna make a game that like old school Fire Emblem. They're not gonna because this game has to be this game has to get a wide audience. And Fire Emblem, when it was that hardcore, had a very small niche audience, and they want a bigger audience than that. But the one game that they showed that they didn't show is also what I'm interested in. Why didn't they show TMNT Shredder's Revenge?
Yeah. It already has a release date, doesn't it? Already has a release date. They already
Yeah,
showed a pretty nice game trailer. But
you know,
yeah, I can see.
that's the game I'm looking forward to because I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
that game takes me back to the Konami beat 'em ups from back in the day, when Konami could do no wrong, like TMNT, the arcade game, TMNT 3, Mutants Take Manhattan, and finally TMNT 4, Turtles in Time. Uh,
that game looks like a Super Nintendo in such a way, which it
yep,
looks like a Super Nintendo game and
an
how we remember
idealized
Super
Super
Nintendo
Nintendo game.
games. Yeah, an idealized Super Nintendo game. That's a good
Yeah,
word.
like we remember Super Nintendo being when we were kids. That's what it looks like,
Yeah,
and I'm okay
yeah.
with that because that's like my favorite fourth gen console. So I have a hard on for that system. So um, yeah, but yeah, for me, the Indie World presentation by and large, 19 games were shown. 4 looked interesting to me. The rest of them, I was just like underwhelmed. I guess the fourth would be. I mean, Boyfriend Dungeon looked kind of cool,
Hmm.
but um, I'm
I
a little
consider
bit
it
weirded out
left
about a game where
field
you want to fuck your weapon.
because
That's a little weird to me.
Mm.
yeah, as I said, it's left field to me, but it it makes me wonder to see how the heck is this gonna work?
Well, I'm
So it's
still gonna
Soul
get it.
it's Soul Eater meets dating sim.
Yeah, I mean, see, here's the thing. Sometimes games doing weird shit can work really well. Um,
Too
you
bad
know,
they couldn't have too bad they didn't have like a girlfriend dungeon option. Like, you know,
well,
just because it's kind of weird.
I think you can in that game do that. I think you can in that game do uh, like even though it's called Boyfriend Dungeon, I think you can be a male character and some of the weapons are female, so you can kind of even though it's called Boyfriend Dungeon. But I mean, like here's the thing. I will play a game that has a weird concept. Like I remember one of my favorite games for the PS1 was like it was an RPG, but that was also a dating sim where your character's a soul blacksmith, but in order for you to make better weapons, you had to, uh, you know, basically go on dates with female characters who could help you make better weapons and stuff like that. So it was a dating sim, but also an RPG, like a typical RPG. But the game itself was good. So I mean, if the game is good, I'll probably get it, even if it is kind of a weird concept. Because you gotta live your life. You gotta do different things. But you know, but
Yeah, Eastward looked interesting. I like the song they played in the trailer,
oh
and
yeah,
yeah, I thought the art style looked nice. The Jet Set Radio game looked interesting.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
that yeah, because that Metal Slug strategy game looked pretty cool. It's interesting how they were able to translate the gameplay of
oh
Metal
yeah,
Slug into a strategy game. It's like, okay, these guys know what they're doing.
yeah. We said that while you were gone that the Metal Gear, sorry, the Metal slug tactics game, like how they translated Metal Slug from 2D to 3D isometric, is just amazing. Like I mean, Emu. The game could suck, but Emu needs points just for how well they translated that bit art style. They need points. Give them all the points. Give it to them.
That's a game to keep an eye on for sure, right?
Well, to be honest with you, almost everything from Emu has been pretty good as of late. Streets of Rage 4.
Oh, Streets of Rage 4? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
they did Streets of Rage 4. They're doing the Emu also did here, let me look this up because I know there's other stuff they've done, but I can't remember it off the top of my head. Emu. Let's see, they've done games. Come on, they've done Streets of Rage 4, Windjammers 2.
I've heard good things about that.
Pharaoh New Era, Wonder Boy the Dragon's Trap. I have that game. The re-release of Windjammers, East Origins, Neo Turf Masters, Titan Quest, Double Dragon Trilogy, East 2, the final chapter, East 1, Ancient East, Vanished Omen. Like they've been re-releasing. They've been porting a lot of arcade games and PS1 game, like old school games to modern consoles. So, I trust them.
Yeah.
They've been doing a good, job. So I can't really. But I'm really looking forward to.
They're their credit.
I'm really looking forward to TMNT Turtles, Shredder's Revenge. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's the game that I'm like, oh my god, because everyone. I mean, you might not know this about me, but Turtles in Time is like my favorite for the SNES. That is my favorite Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game, and them bringing that shit back is just gonna. I mean, and this looks like. I mean, yeah, the art styles of the Turtles, like the Turtles have different stats now, but. It's like, the shit that I grew up, like, I mean, this is how you sell nostalgia. You don't just put some shit out. Oh, remember this from when you were a kid and some bullshit. Like, you sell nostalgia by making a good product that is nostalgic. You don't make a bad product and use nostalgia to sell it.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I was gonna say somehow only Shaq Fu managed to pull that off.
Oh no, there's more than that did that. Shaq Fu did that. Current Star Wars did that. Take a shit product and then wrap it in nostalgia and sell it to people. Pokemon's been doing it lately. hey, this is a bad game, but guess what? Aren't you nostalgic for it? Yeah, eat it. Okay, all right.
I was trying to say that something that's been constantly bad has somehow gotten a remake.
Sega with a lot of their games. Aren't you nostalgic for Sonic the Hedgehog? I am, but not enough to play this badass game. It's like. But that's neither here nor there. Let's move on to the next time. So Jules said that she liked the Nindy conference. Kanoshi is kind of like was underwhelmed, and I was underwhelmed. So that's how we felt about it. That's it.
You guys are wet blankets.
Not really a wet blanket. It's just, I mean, okay. My criterion for any type of presentation about like games or anything is the big thing for me is okay. You like if I already own the console that is the headline of like the platform that the conference is about. Like if I own an Xbox or a PlayStation or a Nintendo system, then you need to sell me on okay, why should I get this game for your system? Like what exclusive, or is it going to be a system exclusive or whatever? And if you're not going to do that, then there has to be like is there going to be some unique feature to the game on your system or whatever? None of that was happening with the Switch, and all those games are going to be on PC, and I can probably get them cheaper on PC than on the Switch. So, you know,
Considering the title is Nitty World, I actually looked at games that I actually consider if a game is so weird out there that is unexpected or not of the usual, I actually consider it a good good showing because you actually get something entertaining, something new, and maybe not a sequel.
yeah, you know, to each his own. I mean, just for me, all those games at the Indie World Showcase, yes, it was on the Nintendo channel, but all those games are also coming to PC at the same time as they're coming to the Switch. So it's like, okay, so are there going to be any unique features? And I'm like, no. Okay, well, I can get them cheaper on Steam. Yeah, it's only like a 10% discount, but that's cheaper than they are on the Switch. So for me, I'm going where I can get the same game for cheaper. Because I'm a cheap bastard.
Oh yeah.
But let's keep it moving. Back for Blood. Yeah. So Back for Blood, like we all initially thought, is essentially going to be the spiritual successor, if you will, to Left 4 Dead. And I guess that's a good thing. Anyone have any?
I was about to
No, I mean,
say.
I like all the I like the characters. I saw a character preview on IGN, and you know, characters seem interesting, and the world seems at least don't know too much about the world, but it looks like an interesting game. So,
All right.
definitely pick it, play it when it comes out.
The only thing that got me with that game was the latest little mini fake controversy where apparently there was a glitch where some of the characters, some of the zombies, were using the N word.
I was about to say that that's that's more of a limp donk compared to some of the stuff that we heard.
No, I think that's a gameplay feature though, because seriously, if a zombie was coming at me and using the N word while it was, coming at me to bite me, that would give me more of an impetus to shoot them in the face. It's like, oh really? You're a fucking zombie and you call me out my name? Pow!
I was saying that's as much of a controversy as as getting a cheese pizza.
Yeah. But anyway, I liked it. I want this game to do well, just because Turtle Rock needs a win. they need after that last game they did, they need a win.
That was rough. That was rough.
You know, they're like honest guilt. No, go ahead, Joel.
If the worst that came out of it was just some zombies swearing at you, then it, as I said, kind of feels like a cheese pizza.
Yeah, No, go ahead, Kenoshi.
Oh, I was gonna say, some of the things they said when that game came out, I think it was 2K. It's like, well, developers need to eat and stuff because this is why we're charging. This is why we're charging an absorbent amount of money for DLC. It's like, what? You really gonna say that?
Yeah, it was just that game was just that game was just really ill conceived. You can tell that probably Turtle Rock wanted to make a certain game, and the publisher's like, "We're paying for this game to get made. You're gonna make it this way," and it just failed. It failed on so many levels. But there were some good ideas in that game. It just wasn't well executed. But tis what it is. It is what it is. But anyway,
Anything else?
Um, I mean, I don't know. I'm just looking forward to it. I really want it to, you know, I want it to work. Okay, so here's a little bit of a rumor. I don't know how much. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but here's the rumor. Okay, the rumor is. Remember a few weeks ago, Take Two was, 2K was hitting all of these various mods for like an HD version of GTA, Vice City, and San Andreas, GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas, with all these DMC notices, and people were who had these mods up were taking them down themselves. Well, it turns out that the rumor mill is spinning and says that it is heavily believed that Rockstar is going to be doing a remaster of GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas for consoles and PC. And here's something that might make you Switch owners happy. For once, the Switch Nintendo system may be getting GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas on a three like all the games on one system. Thoughts that this may happen? Yes, no, maybe so.
Yeah, it's a possibility.
I hold my breath.
All right.
Much as I,
I'm not, they don't, you
much
know,
as I,
I'm not,
much as I would be surprised if GTA comes to the Switch. Um, knowing Rockstar, they they probably just give a middle finger.
Yeah, but Rockstar was bought by 2K was bought by a new company, and they want to make money. So, money trumps everything. Okay, like when you're trying to get paid, money trumps everything. And GTA 6 is a long ways away. And GTA Online's making a lot of money, but more revenue streams are always good. Personally, I think it's about time for Nintendo fans to get their hands on arguably what are some of the, well, except for GTA 3. GTA 3 kind of sucks, but Vice City and San Andreas are great. And so it's about time that those gamers get their hands on those two games. I personally will rebuy GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas all over again if this happens and they add more modern gaming conveniences to those games. Um, because I mean, just for the radios, for the music in Vice City and San Andreas alone, it would be great to get those games again.
If they give you a radio option, then I know you're gonna use it.
Well, I mean, like one of the hallmarks of of those, not GTA 3 so much, but Vice City and San Andreas, like especially like Vice City and San Andreas, one of the hallmarks, like the music is so good in those two games that sometimes you're like, man, I got to go over here and do this, but you just get in the car and you start listening to some good music. You just drive around. It's like, man, I want to continue listening to Michael Jackson, Billie Jean. I don't care. I like listening to Billy or the Whispers in Vice City, and the beat goes on. Vice City is a really good game. That game is still holds up in a lot of ways. Hell, even Vice City Stories has good music. It's got Phil Collins' "Easy Lover" as one of the main songs in that game. I mean, there was a time when GTA was awesome, and GTA 4 is when it started going downhill in terms of the quality of those games. Yeah, graphically they got better, but gameplay wise, ugh.
yeah.
But
GTA 4 was, that's a hard game to go back to.
that was a hard game to play. And the sad thing is that the DLCs for the GTA 4 were so much better than the main game. Like so much better. Especially the Ballad of Gay Tony. But the base game is a slog. I mean, I like Nico Bellic is a character that I just wanted to die the entire time I'm playing it, and his cousin Roman. I'm like, man, I fucking hate it. Could someone just kill cousin Roman so I don't have to hear him talk anymore? Cousin, hey, man, shut the fuck up, dude. I'm sorry. I hate that character. But that's my own personal opinion. Um, anything else you guys want to add about GTA being remastered and being brought to anything you guys would like to see in a remaster or not see? Wants,
I was gonna,
desires.
I was gonna say that remasters like for GTA, I honestly thought that you'd have a radio station option, so you don't have to go directly full into the game, but also maybe a way to replay some missions that you want to remember or get better at.
So basically, kind of like how they had in GTA Chinatown Wars, where you could basically replay missions anytime you wanted.
Yeah, yeah, at least you can. Though you have to complete it at least once. Whenever
Yeah.
you whenever you at least get the chance, you can actually replay them again and to enjoy them before you progress to the story.
Here's the funny thing about that. If you play GTA, if you play the GTA games on PC, you can download mods that unlock that feature. It's not inherent in the game. I do think that that is one of the weaknesses of GTA is that once you beat the game, there's really not much to do after that. Like,
As in, there's no, you can't go backwards in a GTA game, right?
I mean, except for Chinatown Wars, where you can replay various missions, but Chinatown Wars is it's kind of it's the odd man out, which is kind of sad. I do think like, and this is where GTA 5 kind of falls apart, is because like GTA is one of those games where having expansions would actually really help the game, because it's like you beat the game, here's some extra content, but all the resources that should have went into expansions for GTA 5 went to GTA Online. So it is what it is. Um, I mean, personally, I'd like to see in the remaster some more modern control schemes. Now, I know they're not going to have this on like consoles, because uh, it's just not practical. But on PC, you can like create your own radio station by putting your own music in a folder in on your PC and listen to whatever the hell you want. Um, it would be cool if you could do that on console, but I just don't think that's going to happen. Um, I think maybe add some new content, maybe more outfits you can wear, maybe some new weapons. That'd be cool, especially in San Andreas. Um, that's about it. I mean, you can't like. Here's the thing. I don't think this is going to be a remake like Mafia 3, the Mafia 1 and 2 was um, for 2K, where they literally remade those games from the ground up almost in a new engine. I don't think you're going to get that in GTA remastered. Although I could be wrong. I could be wrong. And if that's the case, I'll be happy to play it because, like I said, I'm a GTA fanboy. I like the franchise, even the except for GTA 4. I don't like that game. GTA 5 is a little bit better, but it's not great. Um, anyway, anything else before we move on to commencing to kick Activision Blizzard in the nutsack?
No, they do this time.
Well, I'm glad you asked. Uh, Diablo 4 director, a lead level designer, and a World of Warcraft designer depart Blizzard.
Well, if that's not the definition of abandoned ship,
No, their asses got fired because there's a major lawsuit over the company's culture, and Activision Blizzard's especially Blizzard's trying to cover their ass. I mean, because if there's anything we've learned about Bobby Kotick, it's that Bobby Kotick will chop off his hand in order to save his body. And at this point, like they're basically casting off the people who are non-essential, who they basically can say, well, we fired people, but not fired the right people yet. Because really, and this is just my own personal opinion, everyone at the top needs to go. Like all of like Bobby Kotick and all the people at the top need to get. They need to be fired. They need to be fired so hard. They need to be put into a rocket that's painted fire engine red and launched into the sun. Fired. That level of fired. Like bye. Get the fuck out. Bye. Um,
Yeah, I'm just face palming because those seem like key people that you're getting rid of just to put in bobbleheads.
well, I mean, because the thing is like, okay. I mean, I'm gonna say the same thing that I would say about Yves Guillemot. There is no way that Bobby Kotick is the CEO of a multi-billion-dollar company and he's not aware of these problems. Like here's the thing: if you are the CEO of a company of a multi-billion-dollar company and you're not aware of these issues, either you're grossly incompetent or you willfully buried this information. Either way, you don't need to be head of a multi-billion-dollar company.
As I said, he's putting bobbleheads in place.
So, and people are like, some people who don't really know what's going on, they're like, well, they fired J. Allen Brack and they fired these other people. Look, they fired visible people so that, like, as sacrificial lambs. I'm not saying that J. Allen Brack and all these other people who are being fired and removed from positions aren't guilty of something, but this shit's like this is a cult company wide culture problem, and culture comes from the top down, not from the bottom up. Okay, because it wouldn't have gone on for as long as it did if it was from the bottom up. Okay.
I was going to say that rot does start at the bottom, but it could grow to the top to where you have to get rid of everything in between to clean house.
Yeah, but typically speaking, when something's rotten from the bottom up, like an employee does something shady, once it's discovered by HR or the accounting department, those people are fired. If it's from the bottom up, when it's from the top down, it becomes a culture thing. Where well, the CEO is a dick towards women, so the people under him are a dick towards women, and the people under them are a dick towards women because it's seen as acceptable from the top down. It becomes a culture thing. So, like, as long as it's a culture thing from the top down, it's not going to change. Like, there needs to be, like, people need to be fired from the top, and they need to basically get a new team in there entirely. Like like a new team of people at the top. Now, this probably means they're probably going to have to take a short term hit on the stock, but it's better for them to take a short term hit on their stock now than for this to continue because it's just going to get worse the more comes out.
I think part of it's,
It's
you know, honestly, I was
it's like
thinking about
watching.
this. I was thinking about this, and
Yeah.
there was just an idea of the psychology of it. And that's, a lot of these guys were probably coders, nerds, whatnot in high school. Probably got picked on a lot, bullied, and now because they're,
Yeah,
have all this power and whatnot, they, and are able to
it's like watching.
coerce women like, the jocks that they hated so much. Now they get to be the bullies and shove people in the lockers. So
Yeah,
I don't know. It's something I've been was thinking about.
it's like
Hmm.
it's like watching somebody try to. It's like watching an amateur try to get rid of weeds. Until you get to the roots, they're gonna come back, and
Yeah,
again, and
yeah,
again, and
yeah,
again.
yeah. I mean, like I said, and the only way to really get rid of weeds is you got to get your hands dirty. And at this point, someone's gonna have to get their hands dirty. I know some people are gonna get angry, but yeah, I mean, dude needs to go. Bobby Kotick should have been gone years ago. But he really needs to be gone now. And I mean, like, he needs to be like gone, like Like, ain't no coming back. Just your ass. Pack your shit.
Pink slipping.
Get out. They need to do to him what they did to Les Moonves, who used to be the CEO of CBS before they kicked him out. Not only did they kick him out, but he didn't get his severance pay because he lied about sexually harassing a woman and buried evidence and erased evidence in order to cover his ass. But you should have known better because Les Moonves was a lawyer by profession. But I mean, at the end of the day, these rich assholes never want to pay. Like, they're already rich, but they don't want to lose the little bit of money that they would have gotten, um, in their severance pay, or not little bit of money, but it's like you're already wealthy and you were doing fucked up shit, or you enabled fucked up shit, and you don't want to pay the piper for doing the fucked up shit. Like, I don't understand that, because any other job, if you do something shady, you have to pay the consequences for that. But apparently, these people think that they're above any form of retribution or, um, you know, justice, which is, shady as hell, really, to be honest with you. But that's my own personal opinion. I could be wrong. Anything else you guys want to say about Activision Blizzard and their and their continuous line stepping?
I'm just gonna ask, is there any more?
Well, since you asked, but wait, there's more. This time, the first article was about Blizzard. The second article was about Activision. Activision basically has been abusing their contract workers. Basically, they're pulling the standard business of contract, standard shady ass business practices against contract workers, which is you hire them just long enough to get something done, then you fire their asses before they meet the time to become a full employee. Then hire them again once the cool down goes down, so that you don't have to pay them benefits. Leading to a lot of those people getting
surprised.
Well, a lot of those people are getting burnt out and just leave the industry because if they can't even get a decent job doing what they're
Or full time.
Yeah, doing what they're getting, you know. But a lot of jobs do this. Like they'll hire someone part time, and they'll work them 39 hours to make sure they don't get over 40. So then they don't have to pay them benefits. It's fucked up and exploitative as hell. I mean, I'm gonna keep it real. These people, look, in the games industry, these people in coding, these people need a union. Like, they desperately need a fucking union. I know some people will be like, "No, come on, man." These people are being exploited by the people at the top. They need a union. And here in America, we've gutted a lot of our unions, but by definition, these people need a union so that they have someone at the bargaining table on their side, because they are getting shafted by the people at the top continuously, non-stop shafting,
and not in a good way.
Well, I mean, is there ever a good shafting? I mean, I guess technically,
be careful
but
the wording there.
But not the way these people in the business world. There's never a good shafting, and this is one of those where it's like, these workers are getting shafted.
I said be careful of your wording because, well, you know how that could work.
So,
that sense, you're so right.
These people are getting taken advantage of. They're getting abused. They're being, people, and like when your contract, when your salaried workers can't even afford to eat in the cafeteria of the place where they work. They're having to make a choice between eating or paying their rent because you're not paying them. So they're living in a high rent area, and you're not paying them enough so that they can even fucking live. That's some fucked up shit. Um, but that's Activision for you. That's the exploitative bullshit.
Well, they weren't paying their employees enough for that so that they can live. Damn.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And if I remember right, the Activision Blizzard even hired union busters.
Oh yeah, Wilmer Hale. People who have actually defended Nazis.
Okay,
Yeah,
and we all know where that goes.
yeah. I mean, look, listen. If Activision Blizzard and Bobby Kotick aren't villainous pieces of shit, who hires lawyers who defended Nazis who's doing good shit? Really? No one. No one. No one who's on the right side of history hires Nazi defending lawyers to defend themselves. Okay?
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
All right. To quote Johnny Cochran in South Park, it makes no sense. Chewbacca is a Wookiee from Kashyyyk. He's 7.5 feet tall, and yet he's living on a planet with Ewoks who are only 3 feet tall. It makes no sense. It's the Chewbacca defense.
The Chewbacca defense, if that actually works with what's going on here.
Well, I mean, the Chewbacca defense was a
Sorry,
parody of Johnny Cochran's "If the glove does not fit, you must acquit," which, to be fair,
thank you for reminding me of a bad moment.
which was nothing bad about it. The man was doing his job. He's a lawyer. He was a defense lawyer. He was creating reasonable doubt. Really, the prosecution shouldn't have built their whole case around a detective who it was known was a racist detective who previously had been caught fabricating evidence in order to secure a conviction. So, maybe as a prosecution, don't use non-credible witnesses as the linchpin to your prosecution. Just, it's kind of like, I mean, it's the equivalent of doing a research paper and your primary source is from a debunked author. Like, don't do that, because then everything you built your paper on is bullshit. Don't do that. The professor is in their rights to give you an F for writing a bullshit research paper. Just saying. But anyway, let's keep it moving, keep it moving, keep it moving. This is just kind of sad, or maybe funny, depending on how you look at it. So, the Nintendo World suspends its rides as Goombas break free and fall onto the ride's tracking. Which
Can I make a humorous moment here?
Go ahead.
Those guys are trying to get on Bowser's good side, and as much as I know they're going to get squashed, or at least they usually would in normal cases, at least give them pay for our efforts.
See, I didn't see it that way. I saw it this way.
I'm trying to be funny.
Yeah, I'm going to be satirically. I'm going to use ridicule and satire. Yeah, I don't see it as they're just trying to do their job. I think even the Goombas know this is some bullshit. Like, COVID spiking, you want to fucking open up an amusement park ride? Are you fucking stupid? Turn this shit off. I'll do it myself. That's what that shit was about. They're like, turn this shit off, turn it off, turn it off. Like here's the thing that I don't get. I know Universal Studios spent a lot of money to get the rights, but I mean, don't you think it's a bit of a hint when COVID opens right when you're COVID comes out right when you're opening this bullshit up? Come on, man. Y'all should have been like, okay, let's cool it down. Like, yeah, Super Nintendo World. I'm not going to fucking Super Nintendo World with this shit going on. What the fuck's wrong with who's going into an amusement park with this shit going on? So look, let me put it this way. Everybody knows who likes
I was
going
about to say, Disney's trying to do that.
who likes let's keep it real, okay? Who likes going to amusement parks? Little kids. Little kids are some of the dirtiest, nastiest, don't cover their face, snotting all over the place, don't wash their damn hands, nasty little motherfuckers on earth. Now you add into that an infectious disease.
That spreads around by several means.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now, that's just a recipe for just safety and not getting sick. I'm being facetious, by the way. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think all those amusement parks need to shut
I'm-
the fuck down. Just be like, till we get a handle on this shit,
Yeah.
no one's doing anything.
So if anything, I was about to say that thank you amusement parks like Disney for setting an example of how not to do business.
Well, I mean, Disney already kind of shat the bed when they opened up the Star Wars Galaxy Cruise experience, where this is how stupid this shit is. The Star Wars Galaxy Cruise experience, where for 2 nights or $5,000, or sorry, $2,400 for per night, or 2 nights for $5,000, you can choose to be either a rebel or the First Order. So let me get this straight. I can choose to be a group of freedom fighters fighting against a fascist regime, or I can be part of a fucking fascist Nazi-like regime. Who the fuck thought that was a good idea?
Well, I mean, the $5,000
People in
that's crazy to me. They better be giving you some nice stuff if you're gonna spend $5,000 on a cruise.
for somebody
Man.
like Red, he expects the blowjob and happy ending night.
Yeah. Let me put it this way: the only way I would pay $5,000 for 2 nights on a Disney Star Wars experience, here's what you're gonna have to do. Both nights, I'm going by myself, and both nights you're gonna have to have a high class, clean, highly trained prostitute dressed like Princess Leia from the first movie, no bra in her galactic outerwear, and the second movie, in the second night, Slave Leia, when she choked out Jabba the Hutt. I'm gonna need a highly trained Princess Leia lookalike, and both of those nights, clean, highly trained, professional, almost damn near girlfriend experience. Both of those nights, and then I don't mind paying $5,000. Hell, I'll recommend it to my friends.
And that's the funny thing. I predicted how Red would only be able to be paying that.
I mean, the only way you'd be paying that if you gave people fine ass escorts.
That's
Like,
the only way I'm doing it.
that is-
And look, ladies, we're not going to leave you out. Look, for $5,000, Disney will have people who look like Harrison Ford in his heyday. And let me tell you something: Harrison Ford in his heyday, if I was a woman, shit, people are like, he cheated on his wife with Carrie, I forgot her.
Carrie Fisher.
Carrie Fisher. I'm like, look, if you saw Harrison Ford in his heyday, yeah, she fucked him. Harrison Ford in his heyday was a very handsome man. Okay?
Seeing seeing somebody like that.
And look, listen, if you're a woman and Harrison Ford in his heyday comes up to you and says, "Hey, you wanna do something?" Ain't no woman gonna be like, "No, get out of here, Harrison." Shit, stupid ass. No, don't do that. I'm like, shit, hell yeah. We will get. Look, ladies, we're not gonna leave you out. We're gonna get some men who look just like Harrison Ford in his heyday. And for you ladies, like, I don't want to go with a white guy. we will give you a dude who looks like Billy D. Williams in his heyday up there. And they'll show you a good time for $5,000 2 nights. And you ain't gonna say shit. They'll be like, yeah, honey, it's Billy D. Williams. Fine ass, back in his heyday prime, Billy D. Williams. With the perm and everything. It's not my fault.
not only a fine ass escort, but a meal that you would never forget.
Yeah.
This is like, God,
Like God himself cooked this, okay? But all I'm saying is this, okay? Star Wars, Disney has been mishandling the Star Wars franchise since they fucking bought it. We only got one good movie out of the Disney Star Wars run of Star Wars, and that was Rogue One.
It's like they were handed a package of Toll House chocolate chip cookies, and all they had to do was bake it. And they figured out how to mess up pre-made cookies.
Yeah.
If somebody like that figured out how to ruin pre-made cookies, be very scared.
They did. They figured out how to. It's like that joke from GTA San Andreas. CJ, you had one job and you fucked it up, CJ. You had one job. Follow the damn train. I mean, that's basically like, how do you fuck up Star Wars? Well, Disney showed us how to do it. I mean, let me put it this way. George Lucas, with his prequel trilogy, we were like, this is as low as Star Wars can go. It's never going to get... Look, I never thought I'd say this. I wish we had Jar Jar Binks back after the shit we got under Disney. Jar Jar Binks wasn't that bad.
That's the funny part. I consider Jar Jar Binks to be a joke character before the sequel trilogy.
I mean, Jar Jar Binks is terrible. Jar Jar Binks is terrible, but compared to the shit we got from Disney, shit, I'd take 3 Jar Jar Binks. Full on Misa, go over here. I'd rather have that 3 movies over, full on, full blast, than the shit we got under Disney. Oh God, it was terrible. But anyway, let's keep it moving. Last little bit of news. I mean, Fire Axis is hiring. Fire Axis is hiring for a new Civilization game, and they're looking for a narrative lead with a knowledge and passion for world history. So clearly, they're gearing up to make a new Civilization game. Yeah. And I'm okay with that. I like Civilization.
That's some hopes.
I'm a Civilization fanboy. Except the only thing I'll say about this is fuck Gandhi, because in every Civilization game, Gandhi, like, India will be fine, and then Gandhi will all of a sudden declare war on everybody. And I'm like, fuck you, Gandhi. Now, except I got around that after playing Civilization for years, is I will create a reasonably active, I'll play as the US, and I'll customize my character. I typically go with a black president because, I don't like playing as Abraham Lincoln. And I'll give myself a ton of resources and give everyone else practically nothing. So when Gandhi starts some shit, I'm like, oh really? Well, you're gonna get nuked, bitch. Nuking Gandhi is kind of fun in Civilization.
I was about to say, somehow Gandhi is the worst thing that ever comes up to you?
Well, in the original Civilization, there was a glitch where Gandhi was supposed to be peaceful the entire time. But there was a glitch where he would declare war, and it's just been a thing where they keep that in every game. Where India starts out really peaceful, but it inevitable. At some point, Gandhi starts declaring war on people. So... whenever Gandhi does that, like, it comes as a surprise to some people because they think it's India, it's peaceful. It doesn't work. It doesn't work on me because I always give them nothing to build with. which is also kind of fun to build a custom map where you give yourself all the resources and give your opponents nothing. This is how you know the computer cheats, because you have to amass a certain amount of resources in order to advance, and yet they're somehow advancing with nothing. I'm like, how the fuck is this? You have no resources. You can't build great wonders. How are you still? And then they declare war, and I'm like, okay, India, declare war. I don't care. I'm gonna nuke your ass. Yeah, I when I play Civilization, I follow the Theodore Roosevelt diplomacy option, which is I speak softly, but I carry a really big stick.
Yeah.
In this case, a Harry Truman level nuclear weapons. I would never do this in real life, but Civilization is not real. So someone fucks with me, I'm nuking their asses. In Civilization, I've nuked the shit out of Russia, India, France, Greece. I nuked the shit out of England because I was playing the black president. I'm like, I don't like you fuckers because of the slave trade. Nuke them. Kind of terrible, but fuck them. I'm not a very... Look, you should never let me rule the world. I'm nuking everybody. I will start the Fallout universe for real. Anyway, yeah. So with that being said, we're almost to the end of our cast. Any topics you guys want to bring up? Anything you guys want to get off your chest for the week that we were off? Week and a half. Anything you guys were like, well, I gotta talk about this. This has to be talked about. Why aren't people bringing this shit up?
Well, to be honest with you, I'm just curious of how World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy are getting put in a pit to duel for the audience.
I mean, I just think a lot of people are jumping off of World of Warcraft because they're like I can't support this shit.
I mean, if anything, I was going to say that Final Fantasy 14 has managed to pull more quality of life stuff than Warcraft, and it's starting to show.
Plus,
I mean, one of the
Final Fantasy 14 is
the
pretty
big
accessible
booms-
compared to World of Warcraft.
really?
Yeah,
All right.
at least in my opinion.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. I played a little bit of World of Warcraft. I have never been really that into Final Fantasy as a online game.
There's actually a story. There's like an overarching story to it compared to World of Warcraft. Like they actually build us like everything behind the game or that's involved in the game actually leads into a story rather than you just running around grabbing gear and doing all these quests and stuff. I mean, obviously there is quests and gear to collect, but
All right. Jewel. 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 Jewel.
what happened to her? I don't think she's gone.
All right. Um. Well, for me, I recently tried to get into Elder Scrolls Online, and it was like $7.99, so I played it, and I'm like, this is not very fun. But then I got back into Star Wars: The Old Republic because I haven't been into that game for a long fucking time, and I've been enjoying it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it borrows a lot from World of Warcraft, but I've heard good things about it for the most part.
Yeah, if you're a Star Wars fan, which unfortunately I am, even though I talk mad shit about Star Wars, I am a Star Wars fan. I talk so much shit about Star Wars, and everyone's like, "Man, how can you talk so much shit about something you love?" It's precisely because I love it. I talk shit about it. Because here's the thing: if I didn't care, I wouldn't say anything about it. Like, I don't give a shit about PlayStation. I don't talk about them. Like, dude, it wasn't interesting. I'm not like really enthralled in Microsoft. I don't really talk about them now. I don't really give a shit about um I don't really give a shit about what's the word I'm looking for? I don't really give a shit about Call of Duty because I don't give a shit about Call of Duty. I mean, I feel sorry for the people making the games that are being abused,
Used.
but
Yeah.
I don't. Like everyone's like, well, what? You're a Nintendo fan. Why do you complain about Nintendo? Because I love Nintendo. If I didn't care, I wouldn't say shit. I'd be like, well, yeah, they do things I don't like, but yeah, whatever. I'll just let it slide. No,
Mm-hmm.
if I like, it's like your parents. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
if your parents actually give a shit about what you do, they're not gonna just when you fuck up, they're not gonna say anything. They're gonna be like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
you're capable of better than this. They're going to show concern when you're struggling. They're like, how can I help you do better? What do you need so that you can do better? Like, if your parents are like, yeah, fuck it. Yeah, you fucking up in school. Fuck it. I don't care. That's a terrible parental person. They don't give a fuck about you because they aren't concerned when you aren't doing well. And they don't praise you when you do well. Do they praise you? They don't care about you. If they don't do that. They praise you when you do well, let you know that you could do better when you aren't doing well, and giving you the tools you need to succeed as best as they can. But anyway, um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, so they've been fucking up. But yeah, I want Star Wars to do better, but they've been fucking up. I don't know what to say. So I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, I mean, here's the thing. I am a huge Star Wars fan, and I want them to do better, but they've been fucking up lately. I don't know what to say, guys. You know, and I was one of those people that pre-ordered KOTOR. Like, I was one of those people that
Knights of the
pre-ordered
Old
it from the
Republic.
beginning. No, the MMO.
Oh,
I pre-ordered the MMO when it first came out,
it's
and
funny that I said Knights of the Old Republic because I think that's the one that is an MMO.
no, there's KOTOR and KOTOR 2, which are the single player games. The first one was made by BioWare. The second one was made by Obsidian. And then there is SWOTOR, which is Star Wars: The Old Republic, which is the MMO. I never played Star Wars Galaxy, even though I wanted to. But by the time I actually had a job and money where I could pay for the subscription, the shit was taken offline. I think there used to be a thing where you could play the game on private servers, like that's been jury rigged to run. But that's the problem with MMO. Like a lot of MMOs, like once the servers are pulled, the game is just you know it's done. You can't do anything. So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not like there's like a single player option, or you can't, or a bot option, or something like that.
yeah, Yeah, you just SOL at that point, which kind of sucks. But I'm a Star Wars fanboy. I
Ain't
love
that
Star
ain't that what
Wars.
RPGs are?
I mean, I do think that in the future, as computing gets better and they're able to create more powerful servers and computers to run these games, I do think, and better coding, I do think that you will get MMOs that are so well designed that if you don't want to play the game as like the game, you can play the game as a single player game where the AI subroutines for companion characters will be so deep that they will be almost as good as an actual player playing alongside you. That's what I truly do believe. I think we'll get there in the next 20 years. But there'll have to be a major, there will have to be a quantum leap in computing for that to happen. But I do think you'll eventually get there. Knock on wood. I hope that's true. Because that will benefit not only gaming, but that's going to be a minor thing. But imagine the types of like you'll be able to create. They'll be able if you get computing to that point, you'll be able to create traffic grids where traffic can be controlled in such a way that accidents can be avoided, traffic can be diverted so that you don't really get traffic jams. Papers can be graded immediately and nuanced in a nuanced way. Like the level of computing for that type of thing. Hell, could you imagine how great it would be to replace human cops with um, a computer algorithm that isn't racist? That's truly data
Mega Man,
driven.
Mega Man Battle Networks 6 tried to talk about that.
Yeah, but because a computer can't be racist. It's only it can be programmed to be racist, but it inherently is not racist. So, you know, stuff like that just seems better to me than some bullshit like that. But that's my own personal opinion. Anyway, um,
Yeah, that's the fun.
that's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. Nah. Anyway, so with that being said, let's keep it moving. So, anything else you guys want to bring up before we wrap things up and do? I think we'll do both unpopular opinion and a hole of the week, since we didn't do an unpopular opinion or a hole of the week last week.
Thank you, Lady Luck, for for poking Red Fox.
Well, I don't think it was Lady Luck. I think it was just really shit infrastructure. And well, Saturday it was my voice just left me because I got sick. Not like I think it was my allergies. Because like when I get really really bad allergies, it hits my throat and I just lose my voice. Wednesday, my power went out, and my power came back on because I have a sub generator. But then my internet went out because the substation that basically like supplies FiOS to my entire neighborhood, their power went out. So
Reason to never bond your internet with your other systems.
well, it wasn't. Like FiOS is the second best internet you can get aside from Google Fiber, and the thing is that um, like the only way I could have backup for my internet going out is if I get satellite internet. But the thing is that satellite internet isn't like in terms of speed isn't as good as FiOS because the signal is still moving through the air. Whereas FiOS is damn near like it's the fastest you can get commercially.
It's near land speed.
I mean, commercially fiber optic is the best we have right now. Like there's nothing that is better than fiber optics right now. Now, I'm pretty sure the next 5-10 years they'll come out with something better than fiber optic speeds and stability. But I mean, Like I have no the substation that supplies the internet for my neighborhood for the FiOS consumers. Like I have no control over their substation burning out because the power like blows out because there's a lightning strike to the thing. I have no control over that, and there's nothing I can do about it. I mean, the only thing I can do is the only backup that I could conceivably do, like I said, is if I had satellite internet. But like I live in a covenant community, and the type of dish I would have to have in order to have satellite internet, I'd have to have a massive dish in my backyard, and unfortunately, I can't do that. Like the covenant people will fuck with me until the headache isn't worth the installation. So, and if I was one of those people who live on their own land and in the woods where you can't see shit and they can do whatever the hell they want, But I don't really want to. I don't really want to be in those places because as a black person, I always feel like someone could come out there and do some shit to me and they wouldn't find my body for a while.
So, yeah, I was gonna say that one of those country locations is just asking for a long wait to find out what's going on.
I don't, because every time I see that shit, I watch a lot of horror movies. I'm always in my head like, man, some rednecks are gonna come out here and murder my ass, and they won't find my body.
The reason why I don't, and also the reason why I don't watch horror movies. Thank you very much for reminding me of those.
I mean, I love horror movies, but I'm also like statistically, I'm a black person. I'm gonna be the first person to die, but not really, because I've seen enough horror movies that whenever I see some shit like that, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be the black guy who lived. It's like, hey man, you heard all those people died at that lake, at that cabin at the lake? Yeah, man, I heard about that shit. They tried to get me to go. I was like, nah. They all died? Yeah, well, too bad for them. I lived because I didn't take my ass out there. Have my black ass out there with that shit. Like, Get Out would have never happened to me because, first of all, I wouldn't have been dating a white woman. And second of all, you wouldn't have had my ass out there, one of the few black people and just a whole bunch of weird ass white people. Shit. Hell no, buddy. I've seen enough horror movies to know this ain't gonna turn out well. Anyway, unpopular opinions. Who wants to go first? Surely someone must have an unpopular opinion and want to go first.
PlayStation is overrated.
That's not really an unpopular opinion. A lot of people have that opinion.
I'm at least keeping it simple, cause if anything, I'm already have to worry about storms, and well, if anything, I think that tornadoes hitting my state is less likely than a storm hitting my area.
All right. Kenoshi, unpopular opinion?
No, not this week.
All right. Guess it's my turn. My unpopular opinion is this, and it's coming out of left field. I recently saw a decent retro review for Batman Returns, the Super Nintendo game, which I have. It's a great beat 'em up from Konami, because Konami during the 4th and 3rd gen, they were the kings of beat 'em ups. Well, the princes, the king was Capcom, but they were up there.
I was about to say they're the royals.
I mean, they weren't the kings, because I still think Capcom was the king of beat 'em ups, but they damn sure were the dukes and princes. Games like Simpsons the Arcade Game and TMNT and TMNT Turtles in Time. Just Konami could make a good beat 'em up. But I would say that Batman Returns was better at using the Batmobile, because it wasn't like, it was important for the levels. The vehicle levels were good, but they didn't overstay their welcome, and the Batmobile felt fast. They were like, the Batmobile was utilized better in that game than the Batmobile was in Arkham Knight, where the Batmobile did not feel fast. It felt like driving a fucking tank. And why would, like Batman, the whole point of having the Batmobile is the Batmobile lets Batman get around Gotham quickly and efficiently. Why the fuck would you have him in a tank? It makes no sense.
Unless Gotham was in a freaking war.
Yeah, but even then, it
Makes
doesn't
no
make
sense.
sense. It makes no sense. Like I know that they
I was
have
saying
this.
only if Gotham was in a war, and that's the slim chance of making it have some sense put into it.
It makes no sense. But whatever.
At least I try to say that there's only one kind of chance that it can make sense, and that's a slim to none.
Yeah. So with that being said, yeah. An old fourth gen game was better at utilizing the Batmobile. Hell, I'd go a step further. The Batmobile was better utilized in Lego Batman 2 than in Arkham Knight. And both of the games were semi sandbox style games, but Lego Batman 2 did it better. But that's my own personal opinion, and I know it's unpopular, but I don't care. Arkham Knight's vehicle sections are terrible. Um, and finally, my nomination for A-hole of the week is none other than obviously I gotta go with Activision Blizzard. Um,
Somehow they managed to they managed to kick Ubisoft in the balls. So, congratulations, Blizzard and Activision. You you made you made yourself look like trash yet again.
they managed. I mean, they have managed to basically turn the industry against them, and they deserve it because they're a garbage ass company. Um,
Even though Ubisoft is trying to take that crown away.
Ubisoft is bad. Ubisoft is bad, but Ubisoft didn't have a Bill Cosby room.
Yeah, that's weird. That's weird.
like they didn't have a Bill Cosby room, and I don't care what anyone says. Well, they let Bill Cosby out of jail. Let me tell you something, okay? Bill Cosby got Quaaludes. Quaaludes are a date rape drug, okay? The only reason someone who isn't a doctor would give a woman Quaaludes is because they want them to be knocked the fuck out so they can do some sexual against their will shit to them. Okay? Nobody gives another person Quaaludes unless that's going on. Okay? Especially when you don't tell the person you give the Quaaludes to. It's a date rape drug. Okay? Shit. So anyway, yeah, they had a Cosby room where these wannabe fake ass players. Because here, let me tell you something. A real player doesn't need to get a woman drunk to get into her underwear or to get the panties to drop. They don't have to do any of that. They can just use their natural charm, flirtatious banter, charisma, or hell, just hey, baby, I make a lot of money. Okay. There's no need to get a woman drunk or drugged
I would be ashamed of how these people would act.
to get some. All right. That's how it used to be back in the day. Hey, baby, do some clever banter, maybe a pickup line or two. Nah, bruh, I'm gonna get her drunk and drug her. Okay, then that's some rape shit right there. You need to go to jail.
It's not even. It's not even so
Yeah.
much about the sexual aspect of it, about the power. to be able
Yeah,
to
yeah.
have
I'm
the
taking
power.
this, and they couldn't do shit to stop me. I'm taking it.
Yeah.
It's mine. Well, okay, you fucking weirdo. Anyway, so yeah, I'm just saying, yeah, for like at this point, Activision is worse than Blizzard. Blizzard is terrible. Blizzard is someone giving you a proctology exam with an unlubed glove, which is terrible. But Activision right now is someone giving you a proctology exam with a sandpaper glove, which is worse. than an unlubed glove. So my point behind all this is just to say this. Activision is worse than Blizzard, and they are nominated for Asshole of the Week. And at the rate it's going, they will probably be Asshole of the Year, just to be honest with you. I'm foreseeing Asshole of the Year here. I mean, you know, at worst, they'll have to split the award with Ubisoft, or as I like to call them, Ubi shit, because they are.
Shit.
So with that being said, you know, let's anything you guys want to pimp out?
I think that will be a good closure.
All right. Anything you want to pimp out, Kenoshi? Show off, pimp out, let people know about? All right. Well, I've got a few things to pimp out. Okay, so recently my GOG Galaxy has been, you know, thanks a lot, Windows Defender. It basically fucked up a lot of my files, so I might have to do a clean install. So I wanted to capture footage for Fallout New Vegas, but apparently it's just not letting me do it. So I gotta reinstall a whole bunch of shit or do a clean install. It's a big mess. But that re-review of that game is in the process of being made.
You gotta do a clean install of Windows.
Yeah, and I don't want to because I also have to like.
Good luck.
Yeah, I have to erase a lot of shit. I have to reinstall. It's gonna be a mess. Anyway, I also have some new videos that I've done about on the Ascent, GTA, San Andreas. Recently got back into that game. That game is really fucking good. Like, you know, there's some games you go back and play, you're like, it's not that good. GTA San Andreas is still really good. And playing it now on PC where you can look up the maps where things are and just use cheats to warp to where they are and get them without having to run all over the map, even better. So yeah, been playing that game. I'll definitely do more playthroughs of that. I might do a re-review of GTA Vice City, just because it's been longer since I've played that game, and Vice City is kind of like that bridge between the archaicness of GTA 3 and the more modern sleekness of GTA San Andreas. And yes, a lot of the shit that's in GTA San Andreas is way more modern and easier to get into than GTA 3 and even Vice City. So with that being said, that's the end of the video. Rate, comment, share, subscribe. Anything you guys have? Anything you guys want to say before we wrap things up?
Don't forget to hype responsibly.
All right. Rate, comment, share, subscribe. Peace. Good night.
Good night.